5 rules that prolong life and strengthen health. In order for us to have a strong immune system, food should not only be useful, but also be well absorbed. There are many factors that determine how many vitamins we get from food. Rule Sharp 1. Balance of primary elements.
There are 5 main primary elements, which in different proportions are found in everything, in products, nature and man. These are earth, water, fire, air, ether.
Some products, for example, apples have a drier nature, they have more air and ether, and avocados with a heavy, oily nature have earth and water. There are these primary elements in every person, and our health directly depends on their balance. Each person has his own individual constitution, in which certain primary elements prevail. People are thin, dry, restless, creative, fast, sociable, easygoing, sometimes anxious and restless. They have a lot of air and ether in their body. People are bright, temperamental, leaders, determined, purposeful, sometimes angry and hot-tempered, with shiny skin and good hair. They have a lot of fire and water. People are full, heavy, kind, loving, compassionate, sometimes indecisive, lazy. They have a lot of land and water.
Interestingly, a person's physique can change over the course of life. In childhood, a large physique is more often the age of water and earth, when a child gains body structure. Therefore, children love sweets, pasta, everything that forms their structure, so it is absolutely not necessary to forbid sweet things to children. You can leave the sweet taste in the form of natural dried fruits, Jerusalem artichoke, etc.
And even in childhood you can eat more dairy products, in adulthood less, and completely minimize in old age, when there is no longer sufficient digestive strength. Each body type has its own diet. People of slim build should eat more often, 4 times a day in small portions. People with a moderate build can easily go without breakfast or without dinner. They are recommended to fast once a week. Large-bodied people usually eat 3 meals a day, but in large portions. Rule Sharp 2. How to combine ingredients. For example, Brussels sprouts, the brightest of the cruciferous, has a dry and light nature. It has a lot of air and ether. Therefore, it can cause bloating. It is good to balance it with ingredients that contain more water and earth, with creamy sauces or with risotto. Also, with the help of products, a person can harmonize himself. For example, obese people need to consume more drying and light foods, the same cruciferous.
It is better for thin and dry people, on the contrary, to limit the consumption of Brussels sprouts. This can cause excess air and disharmony.
There are 6 main flavors: sweet, bitter, salty, spicy, astringent, sour.
Each of them is also associated with the primary elements. Bitter consists of ether and air, spicy consists of air and fire, sour is fire and earth, sweet is water and earth, salty is water and fire.
That is, taste can have a direct effect on our primary elements in the body, and we can use them to find a balance. Thermal effect. There are products, spices, herbs that cool and warm. For example, 2 similar citrus fruits, lime and lemon, they are completely different in their actions. Lime will cool, and lemon will warm. Therefore, lime is better to use in summer and lemon in winter. By the way, for people with a fiery nature who may have problems with the gastrointestinal tract, gastritis, increased acidity, it is always better to replace lemon with lime. Effect after digestion. Food can change its properties during digestion.
For example, banana and milk, both of these products have a sweet taste, but if you eat milk with a banana, then in the process of digestion we will get fermentation, since the banana in the intestine acquires a sour taste and milk from it will sour. And instead of assimilating and obtaining useful substances, we will get an accumulation of toxins. Milk is generally a very complex product. It is called lunar, since it is better to use it in the morning or in the evening. At other times it is more difficult to digest.
Milk should be drunk only in a warm form and with spices, turmeric, saffron, cardamom, which contribute to better digestion and reduce the amount of mucus.
It is also recommended to add fresh herbs and spices, coriander, nutmeg to fresh and sweetened yogurts.
Cheese is also a difficult product to digest. It is especially not recommended to combine it with nightshade and legumes. The time of food consumption. It is also important when and at what time you need to eat a particular product. For example, it is recommended to eat fruits before lunch. In the first half of the day they are better absorbed, and in the second half they can contribute to fermentation. Also, fruits should not be eaten after the main meal as they are digested faster, and together with fresh vegetables, different enzymes are needed to digest fruits and vegetables. But dried fruits and cooked fruits, chutneys, sauces have a different nature, so they can be added to dishes with vegetables. Rule sharp free attention to the peculiarities of the season. In the spring, when everything melts, the season of colds and allergic diseases begins. This leaves our savings for the winter.
A person needs to equalize himself with exactly the opposite qualities, that is, add trying products with bitter, astringent, pungent tastes. If a person himself is of such a constitution, where there is a lot of water and land, then he needs to pay attention to this not only in spring, but also at other times of the year. If an obese person eats dairy products in the spring, which are watery, then you should not be surprised that he has edema, obesity, atherosclerosis, depressive mood, laziness and apathy. Also in the spring it is important to avoid overeating and not to eat hard to digest food, cold, fatty, sour and sweet. But a little sharp, bitter, dry, astringent taste will not hurt. In spring, it is good to introduce fresh herbs, berries, honey into the diet. They have trying and detoxifying properties. In summer, heat accumulates, the earth dries up, therefore, tastes as sharp as chili pepper, sour, spicy, peppery, very fatty, fried are not recommended. In autumn, good tastes are bitter, wormwood, turmeric, sweet and astringent. It is good to include ginger tea, spices, fennel in the diet. Warm water and drinks improve digestion. You do not need a large amount of cold and dry products. There is little variety of food in winter, so spices are very important. More ghee oil in the diet to keep warm. Grains and legumes are important, but it is also important not to overeat. Warming foods in the diet. Overweight people and prone to mucus accumulation get depressed. Physical activity helps not to accumulate mucus. In all seasons it is recommended to use ripe, seasonal products that have not been carried for a long time from afar. Rule sharp for variety of textures, colors and flavors in a dish. It does not recommend eating tasteless food. It should please the eye and evoke emotions. The contrast of different textures found in one dish, crispy, firm, dense, liquid, gives a certain positive effect, and from this enzymes are produced better. In Western cooking, sweet, sour and salty tastes are most common, and often there is a lack of bitter, astringent and spicy. Such a combination can develop greed, hedonism and ever-growing discontent in people. Very often, the tastes we prefer are related to the qualities of our character and our physical well-being. If a person wants to correct character and emotions, then it can be done with food. For example, if we are too lazy, it is better to eat less sweets. And too temperamental people need to use less spicy. Rule sharp 5.